Hi there, welcome back. And I can only say that when you're sitting under a palm tree, interesting things are coming to your head. For example, I have an urge to create a book with all of you conscious people who have so much wisdom, and just imagine that wisdom plus wisdom, we create a quite interesting universe together. So if you are a writer, if you write some words, send me in a word format. But also if you are a photographer or you make little videos here and there, send me that too. I don't know when that project may happen. The subject would be, who am I? What am I representing? Yeah, something like that. I think that's enough to make it general and to make it free enough so everyone can have this peculiar thought. I'm going to take sometimes my camera up so nobody's recorded here. And I wanted to tell you today about Babaji Story, as someone asked me if red thread doesn't protect on the wrist, doesn't protect because someone broke a leg. If someone else wrote in the comments, maybe something worse was about to happen. We do not know that, of course, and our psychology our subconscious mind always tries to make us functional and interpret the circumstances so we can go on in our life. That's for sure. However, there is a story like that about Babaji. So he's the master from the lineage of Krishna, Jesus, and then he was a master of Lahiri Mahasaya, Sri Yukteswar, and eventually Yogananda, the last one from that lineage from Sri Yukteswar. Some of you probably read the autobiography of Yogananda, and there is a lot there about Babaji, and I really recommend that book in English version for those sometimes listening to me but are Polish. I definitely recommend the English version of that book. I only heard that maybe not everything is exactly translated into Polish. I don't know that, but I just heard about it. It could be also a good translation. So I'm just saying that I read it in English and it absolutely talked to me, and I sort of developed personal relationship to those sort of masters. I felt quite well their energies, and I had some peculiar story to tell, but let me not get into that. I will tell you about this Babaji story. So he was with his little group of students in Himalayas, and according to the legend, he's still alive. And probably you heard already about this fifth dimension and getting into that, and are we going to take our body with us? And there was a lot of weird stories about it, but I will get to that later, in another video maybe. But Babaji was the one that, according to the legend, he is able to manifest material body, and he never died, and he is still among us. It's a very old soul, and he promised his sister to stay on earth, but from what he was talking about, he's not interested to stay here any longer, but since he has this big task and he's conscious being and he has students, he is living with his students in Himalayas with chelas, and he took only very few students, and it was of course very hard to get to him because it's just a legend. But one of those students, one time when they were sitting close to the fire, Babaji burned his hand from the fire. He took a stick and burned his hand. And of course, all the students asked, Master, why did you do that? And Babaji said, because I saw that if I wouldn't do that, he would be suffering, burning, and dying this way. So I saved him this suffering, and in that case, that karma by this little burn is over. So of course, we do not know if something worse would happen to us. We can always interpret it this way. This is a beautiful story. And there is another one about Babaji, so I will also share with you that one. The one when one of the students, soon-to-be student, he said that he will do anything for him. He will fall out of the mountain for Babaji. And Babaji said, okay, then do so. And of course, students were very, very concerned when they heard something like that. And the man didn't think, he just fell from the mountain. Babaji resurrected him, and of course, he became a student, the man, not Babaji. So that is another story, and of course I do not recommend to go to Himalayas and look for Babaji. I heard it's very hard to find him, but what I can share a little bit, if you do meditate, if you sit in a peace, you may experience Babaji's energy, and he said that if people will repeat his name, they will receive blessing. I could tell you many more little incidents I had with Babaji, but probably I will leave it to myself. It's something more private. But I experienced this energy as a very, very subtle, always like suspended, some sort of in a very kind, loving way upward to the source of everything. And if you do know masters, teachers who are present, I don't know if we can call them enlightened. That's another word that it's maybe a little bit sometimes can get misunderstood or abused, I don't know. But if you are around someone that is emanating enormous presence, it's easier for you to connect to that source and sort of suspend. So it feels like this blessing feels like enormous expansion, connection, allowing and suspending in that higher force that is floating from above to you. And it also feels like you are almost emanating that light in every direction of your body, like a sun that spreads around. And very often it is connected to your breathing. So some of the masters are teaching this breathless state of being between taking another breath. And I do not recommend to do that yourself. I always if you do have someone who can lead you through, so you are not going to harm your lungs, then please do so. Do not try to do that yourself. But this suspension moment, this blissful moment, it is very often connected to breathing methods if someone wants to experience it. I think this is it more or less about Babaji for today. If you have any experience with Babaji, oh my God, please share with me. All of those masters, and there are so many from different lineage, and I forgot their names, but there was a recently some years ago. There was this beautiful soul, the Master Moji, and I really like to listen to his sort of emanation of the presence spreading around. And Sadhguru is another one. that is the most popular right now, I think, one of the most popular in the world. And as much as some people will probably tell you to stick to the one master, and that's fine, I have a deep respect to all who are following this path, because in order to do that, it takes enormous everyday presence and discipline in sustaining that presence. We are living in a world of obstacles here, and every day life happens, and most of our thoughts are not really our thoughts, whether we are picking them up from the places we go into, the society we live in, or other people who are thinking about us telepathically. And this is why it's so important to get to sense an idea, to know who am I really and what do I represent, and to ask yourself daily, is that thought mine? Is that feeling mine? Am I picking up something from the field, from someone else? Because we are continuously in a communication. So being in a presence of yourself, learning that presence for yourself will get you through and will help you to sort of in an easier way to eliminate what is not yours, or dealing with that in a better way. Because sometimes we're getting, of course, distracted by those energies that they don't belong to us, but because we enter the field, so they are sort of merging with us. And if we are not aware, then of course it's more likely to lose yourself in it. So I hope I inspired you by the stories about Babaji, and there is much more to say about it. But for today, I'm wishing you a wonderful time wherever you are. I hope I didn't record anyone here. Bye bye.